For Week 14 in the NFL, the AFC and NFC will clash at U.S. Bank Stadium. It's the Steelers on the road against the Vikings. And it's coming up next.
Nightfall in Minneapolis in December usually spells freezing temps, and that is precisely the case outside these walls. But we are a comfortable 72 degrees inside U.S. Bank Stadium. It can certainly get loud inside this building. And just a few moments ago when the Vikings were introduced, it was downright shaking in here. They're set for football as the Vikings get ready to do battle with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Hi again, everyone. Brandon Gordon alongside Charles Davis. And Charles, you look at this Vikings ball club. They come in playing pretty good football. Winners of 4 of their last 6 games. Meanwhile, for the visiting Steelers, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
Two teams trying to stake their claim to postseason football. Week 14 of the NFL is underway. And we will not see a run back on the opening kickoff. This will be a touchback. Well, the Minnesota offense ready to go to work here. Their quarterback in his 10th season overall now, and 4th as a Viking, Kirk Cousins.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stay on an even keel. Doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
A first down throw for Cousins. That one complete to D.D. Westbrook. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 14 yards there on the first play from scrimmage. The first carry now for Dalvin Cook. And this play will be blown up. He'll lose yardage back at the 38. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up 2nd and 11.
Nice play right there to stop him behind the line, but I want to see how this defense continues to play him here in the first half.
Yeah, we know. You know better than I. He has the ability to take over a game. So what do you do?
Yeah, I think you have to make sure that you bottle him in at varying levels, because if you crowd everyone to the line of scrimmage, if he breaks through, there's nothing but room to run.
That catch good for 5. It's 3rd down. Charles, Thursday night game. I think a lot of teams probably say shrink the playbook somewhat. Is that correct?
I think you're right about that, because you just don't have the amount of time that you have in a normal week to put in a full playbook. So as you said, you shrink the playbook, pick out the plays that work best for you. You know what else you're looking for? Who are the freshest guys coming off the last game to play on a Thursday night? Guys have a little extra pep in their step. You go to them early and often.
A gain of 4, not enough, and it looks like punt time on their opening drive as it's 4th down. And here's Hofrichter now, the punter, as he sends this one away. McLeod to return it. 35 yards that time on the punt, and the offense will take over with a new set of downs. So out come the Steelers now for their first drive. They'll be led out by the 2015 NFL Most Valuable Player in his 11th season in the league, 32-year-old Cam Newton.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stay on an even keel. Doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
Officially nothing on that last run. They'll try again, 2nd and 10. Newton now to throw. This one into the hands of the running back, Balaj. They get 7 out of that, so they're left with a 3rd and 3.
So the completion there, and CD, as we know, trying to defend against an NFL quarterback, that's one thing. Trying to defend against a mobile NFL quarterback, that's quite another. What's the plan here defensively?
Well, the pass rush has to still try and get to him, and especially the guys on the edge, but they're going to go maybe a count slower, right? They want to make sure they don't get too far upfield where he steps up and takes off through a lane. The same is true for those interior guys as well. So you've got to change it up with him. Try and keep him hemmed into the pocket, and occasionally you throw a spy on him. A fast linebacker or one of your extra defensive backs who can dance with him a little bit if he takes off and runs.
A look at the numbers for Harris in last week's game. 25 carries, 114 yards, and a score.
And now that he's playing a Thursday night game, short week, you know he spent a lot of time in the trainer's room in the cold tub trying to get his legs back for this game.
That good for 21 yards on the catch and run.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
On 1st down, it's Harris. And he'll take this one down to the 36. Now it appears we have a Steeler here slow to get up. Well, he gets attended to. We'll step aside.
Line of scrimmage, the 36 on 2nd and 8.
Here's Newton. Johnson with a completion over the middle. And this is going to turn into another 1st down as the tackle is made at the Vikings 23. That one good for 14 yards and a Steeler first. Clock rolling as we hit the midway point of this 1st quarter. They'll fake the handoff. Now Newton. Flushed out right. And he'll go out of bounds in the red zone just inside the 20. He'll get 3 yards on the scramble. It's 2nd down.
At the 19-yard line. It's a pickup of 3. Brings up 2nd and 7.
A run with Harris out of the shotgun. 3 yards on the pickup. That's going to set up an interesting 3rd and about 4 to go.
Well, at that rate, picking up 3 yards a carry, you and I both know that doesn't cut it in this league and trying to get 1st downs unless you're playing 4-down football. Then that's a whole different situation, but I don't think that's what they're trying to do here. 3rd and 4, though, is still manageable.
And he will have a Steelers 1st down as he'll be marked down a yard or 2 past the marker following a gain of 6.
That good for 6 as they keep this drive right on rolling. They'll run on 1st down. Harris. And they go the wrong way on this one. Losing yardage back at the 12.
Anthony Barr got a real education at UCLA and playing not just his normal position of stand-up outside linebacker, but down defensive end. So he had to incorporate a variety of moves, take on bigger people, so he learned great leverage.
Looking for Johnson, and it's intercepted. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Charles, not only is that an interception, it's one when you were really knocking on the door for a touchdown inside the red zone.
You're actually thinking points. No matter what, at worst, you're thinking kicking a field goal and getting 3. We might look back on this in the second half and say, you remember when they didn't get points on that drive? This could cost them.
No gain on the play. It'll be second down.
Absolutely. Love the effort there. The ability to flow from his inside spot and stop that one at the line of scrimmage. Nice linebacker play.
On second down, it's Cook again. And a productive gain out to the 14 after starting at the 7. It's a gain of 7. This defense for the Steelers, they were very solid last week in the victory over Baltimore.
But we certainly had a nice conversation with the defensive coordinator, didn't we? And what we heard, I like what we did, but we definitely need more pressure on the quarterback this week.
And that is incomplete. But the pressure there on third down, forcing the errant pass. Fourth down coming up. Here's Sterling Hoffrichter now, as he'll kick it away for the second time. It's a 42-yard punt. They keep him to just a yard on the return. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
And listen, these Thursday night games, they're tough on the body. You just played on Sunday, 72 hours later, hey, it's game day again. But I have to think a Thursday night game in September much more preferable than a Thursday nighter in December, no?
Oh, there's no doubt about it. You mentioned how tough it is on the body. How about the mind? You're already tired, fatigued, right? Trying to battle for playoff spots. And here you have the quick turnaround. Now, the flip side is, if you take care of business, win that Thursday nighter, you go into a mini open week. Gives you a few extra days to heal up the body and the mind before you play your next game.
They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. Newton to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And he'll be corralled out across midfield down to the 45. Newton able to use those legs and get past the marker to pick up the first. So an instance there of Cam being Cam. We know he can use his legs.
And with that big body, it's hard to get him down, even if you get a clear shot on him. Plus, he moves it a lot better.
Oh, into a sea of defenders and intercepted.
Xavier Woods with a pick. And he's able to get it back here to the 43-yard line.
And not the first quarter that he was hoping for. Now 2 interceptions thrown.
Well, the good ones, they find a way to compartmentalize, right? Put these behind them, have that short memory, but understand why they threw the 2 interceptions. They go on and usually play a pretty decent game. Other quarterbacks, they have a hard time getting past it and often put the ball up for grabs the rest of the ball game.
And now a throw on first down there, but it's incomplete. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this first quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. To throw is Cousins.
Swinging this out wide here for Cook.
And he's finally taken down, and it's a big gain there on what will turn out to be the final play of this first quarter. No score after 1 on EA Sports. First down, here's the run with Cook. And he still has yet to get on track in this first half as they're going to stop him behind the line. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
The running lanes have definitely not been there for him here in the first half, and I don't think it's all been his fault. His offensive line hasn't given him much space. A loss results there.
Second down, they go right back to Cook.
Down to the 30 after a gain of 3.
you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a second and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to third and manageable with that run.
On third down, Cousins lets it fly for Thielen. And Thielen's got it. Touchdown, Vikings. Adam Thielen with touchdown number 7 on the year. As his guys are on the board first here tonight. And they... that height on the outside to get the score.
We've seen the evolution of the wide receivers. They've gotten taller and taller, but they retain their quickness and their speed. It's a lethal combination.
Always good to have wide receivers with height. PAT up and good by Rosas. And it's now a 7-0 game. Returning from his end zone is Ray McCloud. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. Pittsburgh offense making their way back out. And 2 picks thrown here in this first half alone. We'll see how that affects him.
Can't wait to see where his confidence is because the great ones, they'll throw 4 or 5 picks, and while it'll hurt their team, it won't hurt their confidence. They'll think something was just wrong with the ball or the wind or something was funny. It's never about them. That's how they stay so into the moment and into the game.
So the big play moves him all the way across midfield. It's 1st and 10 from the 45. And he's going to be met at about the 43. Give him a couple on the carry there. 2nd and 8.
Well, that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive, and once again they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. Then they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
And he gets it inside the 35 and just shy of the 30. The Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards. 2 minutes gone by, second quarter. Now Newton on first down. Finding his safety valve here. That's complete. And he'll go down at the 26 following a gain of 6. Looked like a pretty good, safe play right there. No, he's had trouble with the interceptions in this game there. Hits his guy out in the flat.
Yeah, so many times we hear quarterbacks and offensive coordinators talk about in your progressions, you're either throwing the touchdown or you're throwing the check down. But earlier in the game, it was touchdown or interception. Now he got to the check down, a nice safe throw, and a good one.
He'll head out of bounds inside the 10, mark him down at the 9. That one goes for 16 yards. It sets him up 1st and goal. To throw is Newton. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And in for the Steelers, touchdown. Jerry Jeudy with touchdown number 7 on the year. And the Steelers are an extra point away from tying this thing up. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
Chris Boswell now for the extra point. It's up and good, and we're tied at 7 here in quarter number 2. So the drive there took 6 plays, and the gadget play gets him into the end zone. So all even at 7 now as they kick it away.
And no return here from Westbrook. This will be a touchback. Minnesota's offense takes over possession. They're riding a 2-game winning streak into this Thursday nighter. How easy is it when you're on a roll to stay on a roll given the quick turnaround?
Well, you would think it'd be pretty easy because everyone's locked in practice and meetings because everyone feels good about themselves. And for coaches, this is where they have to tell themselves, don't add too much. Don't worry about game plans as much as.
And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Cameron Hayward has now recorded 10 sacks on the season. So that time, Charles, quarterback helpless really in the pocket in the face of a pass rush like that. They were on him instantly.
Yeah, that's one where you turn to your lineman and say, guys, can I get a little help here? And you have to ask politely because, remember, they're blocking for you the entire game. But as a quarterback, you've also got to have the clock running in your head when you need to get rid of the football. But this time, he had no chance. They were on him instantly.
And if you're wondering how quick a quarterback's decision-making needs to be, and Next Gen Stats says that play took all of 2.8 seconds from beginning to end. So still 14 yards to go, second down. Cousins gives way to Cook. And not too much going there as he'll get it up to the 23-yard line. He'll get a couple yards back, but not more than that. They'll be left with 12 yards to go on third down.
Well, they didn't get a whole lot out of that one, but I think you got to continue to try and run and try and keep the defense honest.
You mean or else they'll just sit back, dare you to throw it on every down?
Yeah, you get your quarterback hit a lot that way, too.
The Vikings on third down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is third down and 12. Cousins now. Lets it fly for Thielen. And unable to connect. Incomplete. I'll give them credit. They took their shot, but it's going to bring up fourth down. The Vikings send out their punter as he's on here to punt it away. He's been a busy man here in this first half as he gets it away. Good coverage there holds him to just a 2-yard return following a punt of 44. And the Steelers will go on offense here, first and 10. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
They come off a victory over the weekend, but now the quick turnaround here for this Thursday night game. How does that affect how teams like this approach these short turnarounds?
Well, wins and losses always factor into how you're getting ready for the next game. But equally as important when you have the short turnaround, what is your injury situation? Are you losing key guys? And if so, how well have the backups prepared for this? Because you don't have much time to get them ready. They have to be ready before this week in order to play well in this game.
The Steelers on third down. A perfect 3 for 3 as they look to keep that streak going. This will be third and 6. A shotgun snap for Newton.
That's caught left side by Judy.
And he goes out right around the 39. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up fourth down.
Here's Presley Harvin now.
Back deep, Patrick Peterson. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. Now it's Peterson. It's a 40-yard punt, 6 yards on the return. And the Vikings will take over here first and 10. And now out comes Minnesota. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up?
You look at what you've called before, realize it hasn't worked
Go to something else.
and maybe try and find one of those special plays from one of your better players, and maybe try and hit something big and get things going in the excitement area.
An incomplete pass leads to second and 10 from the 25. Now Cousins.
This one brought in by Jefferson.
And he'll be taken down, but not before they work it across midfield. 28 yards the gain there on the catch and run.
Had to put that ball in there with a little extra zip, but he put it right where it needed to be.
Yeah, and that little extra pace that he had on the pass, that required a little extra concentration for him, didn't it? Ball can get on you pretty quick in that manner, and he handled it well and picked up the first down.
Throwing on first down, but this one winds up to be incomplete.
No sense risking anything there on first down. Even though he's still in the pocket, he had a receiver out to his side, so just put that in a spot where the only people who could make a play on it are the trainers and the coaches. Well done.
And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. 10 yards, and it's good for a Viking first down.
And that's why Dalvin Cook is the Minnesota Vikings featured back. You put the ball in his hands, good things happen. Second in the NFL last year in rushing with 1,557 yards, and that's now back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons with 30 combined total touchdowns. What a player is Dalvin Cook.
Here's a throw to his running back. It's complete. And he'll go down here at the 35-yard line. That catch good for only a couple.
Brandon, you know this is going to be discussed because this is the fear of all the backs when they run this type of a route. They've got to find the football, and sometimes they don't see the defender. And in this case, he took a pretty good shot for his efforts, but give him credit, able to hold on to the football.
And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Melvin Ingram, make that now 8 sacks for him on the season. We've hit the 2-minute mark of the first half. All knotted up at 7. Coming up at the half, a reminder, we go back to Orlando to check in with Jonathan Coachman. He'll have a look back at our first half as well as a look ahead to what's coming up later this weekend. He's got Herndon, his tight end. And he'll go out of bounds after taking it a little further down inside the 40. The completion good for only 6, and that'll bring up 4th.
Aldrich Rosas on for the field goal. A 55-yard attempt.
And this won't get there. Won't be online either. It's no good. Off to the right. And this game will remain tied here in quarter number 2. Now listen, now no kick from 50-plus is a gimme, but here you're indoors in a dome. You'd think ideal conditions.
Yeah, and it's one that he would expect himself to make, not just us expecting him to make it. Over the years, my theory is very simple. The athletic ability of kickers continues to get better and better. Check their backgrounds. They were all county, all state, at other positions, not just soccer players. These guys expect themselves to be great as well.
First play of the drive, a success, 19 yards. Ball up to the 35 now as they come up on 1st and 10.
Boy, that completion comes with a high degree of difficulty, especially on the catch. Had to look that one in one-handed, able to do so.
And down he goes. They sack him back right around the 41-yard line. The Steelers signal for the second of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. Coming up now on a 2nd and 15 following that sack. Another try after the first down sack. Newton. And look at this. Cam Newton intercepted a 3rd time. Picked off by the linebacker, Eric Kendricks. Past the 20. That's 3 picks he's now thrown in this game.
And I know this, the holiday season, because here we are in December.
Season of giving.
Right, it is the season of giving. Maybe for his own sake after the game, he may have to announce that he's donating.
Oh, he put it on the carpet, a fumble. And it's picked up by the Steelers. And a short return to the 6-yard line.
We have seen this before, and we know coaches preach about this and work on it all the time. Catch the ball, you know there's going to be some traffic somewhere, and got to put it away and secure it as they try and get downfield.
Trying to shake off the interception from the last drive. He'll look to throw. And this will leave him a yard short. Nice pickup of 9 yards on first down.
Brings up second and 1 at the 15-yard line.
To throw again on second down. Newton looking deep here for Ebron. They've got his man complete. And bulldozing his way through. And into the end zone. Touchdown, Pittsburgh. Eric Ebron, 85 yards. And the Steelers on just 2 plays. Have taken the lead. Boswell good with the extra point, and that makes the score 14-7. The long touchdown pass gets them 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And no return here from Westbrook. This will be a touchback. The Vikings going to take over now late in this first half. And with them trailing, there is still enough time to try to string a few plays together, maybe get into field goal range. Cousins now to throw on first down. That's to Cook out of the backfield. And he'll be out of bounds across the 30-yard line.
It's funny, throughout the time that we've been together, when we talk with running backs about the ability to catch the ball, their eyes light up when they talk about open field and having one-on-one matchups, don't they?
Yeah, they do. That's the reason why. Well, we just saw shedding those tackles, and that's what they're used to doing.
It is, and it starts at the beginning of the play. One-on-one matchup if someone's trying to cover them, but they also like those one-on-ones downfield after the catch when they're running with the ball. They think they're going to win those, too.
And brought down, but not before reaching the 45-yard line. The Vikings going to signal for the first of their timeouts as the clock will stop with 33 seconds to go in the first half. On 1st and 10, Cousins. Bit quickly to Thielen here. Now the Vikings will use the second of their timeouts as they stop it with 28 seconds to go in the first half of play. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Throwing, Cousins. Able to shake him off. Now the hit comes, and Cousins lost the football. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. Sacks, a growing theme in this first half. This is 2nd and long. From the gun, here's Cousins. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete. K.J. Osborne, the one he was looking for. But now it'll be 3rd down. The pressure really ratcheting up. They get the sack on 1st down, then a near sack. They got to him there just as it was leaving his hand.
Yeah, they might need to change their pass protection scheme a little bit. Maybe bring another guy into the backfield to help protect the quarterback, because that was awfully close.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. They'll dump this off to Cook. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 14 yards, but they're still well shy of a first as that leads to 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
Albrecht Rosas on for the field goal. A 54-yard attempt.
Rosas' kick is good. And they'll cut the lead back down to 4 now at 14-10. So he missed his first attempt, remember, but this time he gets back on the bike and knocks it home.
Yeah, sometimes that first one can really impact you moving forward. It can just stay with you too long and affect everything else you do during the game. In this case, though, able to shake it off. He's riding high again.
And good coverage there on special teams as they'll get him down shy of the 20.
The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. And they'll have time for one play. There's 2 seconds on the clock. And they'll indeed start on the ground to run that clock. So we've reached halftime here in a 4-point game. As we'll send you down to Orlando, and we check in with Jonathan Coachman for our EA Sports Halftime Report. Coach.
All right, Brandon, thanks very much. We'll get back to you two in just a moment. First, we just want to give everybody a look ahead to what's in store.
And okay, so much for our halftime break. Apparently we're going to get right back to it. All right, Coach, thank you, and we welcome everyone back for quarter number 3. So time for the second half as the Steelers have the lead, and they will also be receiving the football here to start the third quarter. And he will be brought down here inside the 20. Good coverage as he's dropped at the 17. The Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive.
And, Charles, they've got the lead. I would imagine the overall halftime tone was a positive one, but what do you think the talking points were in the locker room?
Well, if there were 3 talking points at the half, partner, all of them were about turnovers because they were pretty loose with the ball. Otherwise, this lead could be even bigger. Now, I don't think that they overly harped on it, but I think they told them, guys, if you want to keep calling those plays that are exciting, you've got to take care of the ball. Otherwise, we may have to dial things back a little bit.
Making the tackle there, the former Giant, Dalvin Tomlinson.
From the gun, he'll hand this off. And he's going to get this one across the 30-yard line. The Steeler first down on the pickup of 11 yards. They've got the lead early here in the third quarter, and runs like that are how they establish that lead in the first half.
I love the fact that you're using the word lead because they are leading from the front, pounding on the defense right now with the running game, and truly establishing themselves here in the second half.
And he gets this to the other side of midfield across the 45 before going out. 25 yards that time.
A lot of times the key is just get him the ball, let him do his thing, and they got it out to him on the left side, and he did exactly that. Excellent run after the catch.
Got some real estate inside the 30. And down to the 19-yard line.
42 yards on the ground for him so far.
They're making it look easy out there. Another first down. So far on this drive, let me do this little bit of math here. 4 plays, 3 first downs.
That's a pretty good recipe for success.
So here's a 1st and 10 now, down inside the 20. Now here's a handoff out of the gun.
And he'll get him inside the 15 down to the 14-yard line. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be second down.
Brings up second and 5 at the 14-yard line.
Now a play fake, and it's Newton. Being chased out left. And he's got it.
And the Steelers are going to be looking at 1st and goal as they move this down to the 4-yard line.
He was held without a catch in the first half, but he's got one here, and he also picks up a first down. Harris. And he's into the end zone. Touchdown, Steelers.
Najee Harris.
His 11th touchdown of the year.
And the Steelers take the opening kickoff of the third quarter and drive right down the field to extend their lead.
That seemed pretty ideal there for the offense, Charles. You take a little bit of time off the clock here in the third quarter, decent length drive, and you pad your lead as well at the end of it.
And what it does is lets you feel like you're in control of this game, even more so than a 2-touchdown lead, right? Because you have taken that time off, as you noted, which means they couldn't get you off the field. You ran your playbook the way you wanted to, and you gave your defense some rest. What a big-time drive in that situation.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And no return here from Westbrook. This will be a touchback.
It's the Vikings' turn on offense. We get ready for their first possession of the second half.
And their deficit a little wider than it was at halftime. Does that touchdown a minute ago change the thinking here at all?
I think it does, at least a little bit, because now urgency has to start setting in. You can't go out there and go 3 and out and run the risk of falling behind substantially. but you have to do it without pressing, because pressing, that'll lead you into bigger errors.
Yeah, boy, this defense again really making things tough on him as they stop him for no gain. Now, they struggled to get him rolling on the ground in the first half, and that's sort of continuing here in the third quarter.
Yeah, but I don't think it's time to abandon the running game. I would say keep feeding the horse, and I believe he'll eventually reward them, especially as we get deeper in the game.
55, Mike, guys, 55.
Throwing is Cousins. Setting up the screen for Cook. And this will be a gain of 5 as he gets it to the 30.
Boy, that was certainly well-read defensively, and the key to any screenplay is space to work, and there was none to be found there, and they tackle it for just a short gain.
This offense in desperate need of a conversion as they come up on third down. Cousins lets it fly for Thielen. And that's going to wind up incomplete. Nearly their first pick of the game, but it does bring up fourth down.
I'm sure this isn't a novel thought, but maybe run some simpler routes instead of trying to get it all back in one shot. Defense certainly appears to be ready for them. Try and get it back little by little instead of in big chunks.
So possession goes over here on the punt.
The Steelers take over first.
And the Steelers getting set and ready for their next possession. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
They'll start the drive with Harris. And he'll be taken down here at about the 23-yard line. Eric Kendricks in on the tackle.
You know that old expression, it's not my night? It hasn't been his so far. I don't know if the legs are a little bit heavy. Sometimes having to hang out all day and play doesn't exactly play to your advantage, but it's been a tough go for him.
And every time he looks up, somebody's there defensively. That was the same case on that play. Escaping the pressure right. And he takes us beyond the 35 before going out of bounds. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
He's starting to fall into the category of not fair. Because when he's on target throwing the ball, he's dangerous. But when you add in his ability to make plays with his feet, almost impossible.
Well, yeah, exactly. They've had trouble stopping him in the secondary. This time they've got the great coverage. Oh, he can run too. Officially, it's a 1-yard loss. That's going to bring up second and 11.
Sometimes that's the danger of putting that jumbo set out there. You just get a lot of bodies massed in one location. You could wind up with 18, 20, maybe even all 22 in the box, and there's nowhere to run the football.
They'll try the air now with Newton. Rolling to his left. Here's Johnson with a reception. And he'll be taken down, but not before he works it past the 50. 18 yards the gain for number 18. From Viking territory now, they'll come up 1st and 10 at the 46. On the give, this is Harris. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on first down.
Brandon, 5 yards on that run. Let's get back to the huddle and make sure if you're back, you spend time with your offensive line and give them credit. Hard to move those 300-plus pounders at the line of scrimmage, and they did for a significant chunk of yardage.
He'll rifle this one deep right side. And this is caught inside the 5. And they will eventually get him down, but he's inside the 5 all the way to the 3. A big pickup of 38. Every defensive staff harps on limiting explosive plays. Job not so well done there.
Yeah, they talk about it all the time. A lot harder to stop, though, isn't it? And when you think of an explosive play, most offensive staffs define them as passes of 20 or more yards and runs of 15 or more yards.
They went zooming past that number there. Newton now to throw. He's got Claypool for a Steeler touchdown. Chase Claypool with touchdown number 8 on the year. And the Steelers find a way to stretch their lead.
That drive that really increased their cushion felt very military to me. Very precise, methodical. That's one of the words you've taught me. and they just got it done.
And slowly but surely now starting to pull away a little bit. Things looking good for them here in the third quarter.
Not only pulling away, but you mentioned that slowly but surely. You also drain clock, too, with a drive like that. So you really give yourself an advantage.
Extra point put through by Boswell. And the lead is up to 18 now. So that drive 7 plays in length. And it ends with a Pittsburgh touchdown.
Chris Boswell to kick off for Pittsburgh.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown. And no return here from Westbrook. This will be a touchback. Now the Minnesota offense set to take over again. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting.
Yeah, they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. The catch and run, good for 18 and a first down.
That's a nice catch there. Remember, he had the fumble earlier. No way he was giving up the ball in that situation. Secured it tight to his body and picks up the first down.
A 10th carry in the game for Cook. And they can't bring him down. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 42 yards rushing for him now on what was his 10th carry of the ball game.
Sometimes it's hard to believe, but there are times this game is about patience, isn't it? Hasn't had the game he expected, but that run there, that may get him going.
I was just going to say, maybe that gives him a little juice, because you're right, he struggled, especially in that first half.
Yeah, and I know the great ones always think to themselves, just hang in there. I'm just one big carry away from busting this open. That's a good start for him.
Stephon Tuitt, the one that got him down. And as a defensive end, getting off the ball quickly, swarming to the football, making a tackle. That's what we saw right there.
Yeah, that's what their job is. And really, a lot of the time, they have to throttle back a little bit in the run game because you know those defensive ends, they're like in a sprinter stance. They're just headed straight for the quarterback. That was good recognition on that play to hold him to no gain.
A second down pass play there, but it's incomplete.
The passing windows are just not there, and that's just another example of how great this defense has been all game long.
And that's exactly what a top 10 defense can do. They can really change the game tempo and frustrate you as you try to execute offensively.
Now Cousins. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a first down. Maybe a frustration penalty there because he's picked them apart.
They've tried their best to get to him and haven't done it successfully. A penalty as a result of that hit there.
So a critical mistake, roughing the passer. Now it's 1st and goal. Cook following the penalty. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 4 there, bringing up 2nd down.
I think it's pretty evident. We can say what a difference a week makes. Last week, he ran pretty much wild, didn't he? Did pretty much what he wanted to do. But this one, they've stopped him cold. That, to me, that's good scouting and even better execution.
Yeah, and they stopped him behind the line right there. They obviously watched the tape a few times and made some adjustments. Only a yard there, and that'll bring us to 3rd and goal. 3rd and goal for Cousins. And that would not to be. It's incomplete. So they couldn't hook up as time has now run out on this 3rd quarter of play.
Steelers 28, Vikings 10.
Rosa's kick is good. And that'll get the deficit down to 15. Well, with that field goal, you can argue they needed to get back within 2 scores, and they did indeed do that, but still a pretty uphill battle.
Still got to take 2 fourth-quarter touchdowns to get back into it. And as you and I know, that's a tall order against any NFL defense. They're going to need their own defense to make some plays as well to give them an opportunity.
You ready? You ready? You ready?
The Steelers take over 1st and 10 at their own 28.
The Steeler offense set to regain possession. Well, there are 2 scores on the plus side. Still time here in this fourth quarter, but maybe you start thinking about playing keep away?
Yeah, I think here's the situation. You're not thinking touchdowns anymore. You're just thinking first downs. To keep up with your theme there, playing keep away, first downs, they can't touch the ball. Now, that's the type of play that gives you a chance to win. Nothing forced downfield where you don't have a guy open. Swing it out to the back, maybe even check it down, whatever you want to call it. Gain of 5. You're just trying to get 4 on first down. They're ahead of the chains now.
They follow up the gain of 5 by only getting 1 there on second down.
Brandon, I've got to think this offensive line has got some smiles on its faces. And I know it sounds crazy, but they practiced for this back in training camp. They knew they'd be in situations where it'd be extra defenders in the box coming after them, trying to keep them from locking down a game. Right now, they want to show the world they're up to the challenge.
They get 5, and it will go ahead and move the chains. They hand this off to Harris. And he'll rumble for about 5, up close to the 40. Now, I'm guessing you'd say this is kind of the key here. Grind out some yardage, work on that clock, see if you can continue to tick it down.
Definitely, you want to bleed things out at this point, right? Continue to possess the football, gain some yardage, and put the onus on the defense. Do they have to use timeouts? What are they going to do to stop you? You're taking charge.
Run blitz there defensively, something we might see more of here in the fourth quarter.
I think we'll see a lot of it, and the difference between that and a pass blitz, you're just trying to get to the quarterback. You're trying to scheme someone open who will get to the QB and make sure he gets on the ground. In a run blitz, you're actually trying to cover up gaps, trying to cover up holes so they can't run the football.
Now a third down throw, but it misses the target, incomplete. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. It's a 40-yard punt, 4 yards on the return. And out will come the offense as they take over. Minnesota now ready for their next possession. Their defense was able to force the punt. That's the good news. But this is still a 2-score game, and they need points on this drive and in a relatively quick manner. A first down throw for Cousins. Lets it fly for Thielen. Launches deep. A jump ball, and this is caught. Well, he's been doing this for a lot of years with the arm strength still there, and he showed it off on that one.
And that's how you start a drive, because you know they had this play in their back pocket, waiting for the right time to unleash it. And boy, did they pick the right opportunity. Unleashed it big time, and that was also a big-time throw.
So barely time to catch our breath. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the red zone. To throw is Cousins. Throw left side complete. That's Cook. And he will reach the 8-yard line before going out. Another good completion on the drive as the Vikings have a first down.
Good yardage on the completion there. When they look at the scoreboard, they do understand a field goal is not going to do them any good. My guess, they're going to press the ball downfield as far as possible, try and throw it into the end zone and get a score, because they know they've got to get that done and get the ball back as quickly as possible.
Cousins. That'll be complete to Cook. It'll go as a loss on the play. Not what you need down here. It's going to be 2nd and goal.
Brings up 2nd and goal at the 10-yard line.
Again, it's Cousins. A throw left side complete to his receiver, Westbrook. That time the completion goes for 4 yards, and we're set up with a 3rd and goal. Here's Cousins. This is caught. Touchdown! Tyler Conklin, his 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Vikings are able to close the gap just a bit.
For good reason, quarterbacks want to get the ball to the perimeter to their wide receivers for big plays. But in this situation, it felt like, based on coverage, he knew that he wanted his tight end to have the football, and for good reason.
Now after the touchdown, here's Rosas on to kick it away. Returning from his end zone is Ray McLeod. And he'll be brought down at the 28-yard line, so the decision to bring it out of the end zone gets him 3 more. The
Steeler offense here about ready for their next drive. They're holding on right now to that slim advantage in a one-score game, and you hear a lot about 2-minute offense and 4-minute offense. Obviously, the 4-minute offense applies here. How do they run that effectively?
Yeah, really what the 4-minute offense is you're just trying to grind the clock. So you want consistent gains, steady gains. Doesn't have to be big plays, but it has to be plays that gets first downs and keeps the ball away from your opponent.
But certainly throwing the ball is in the mix here.
It certainly is. Just make sure that you're careful with it. And again, get those first downs, keep possession of the football.
Flush to his right.
Throw right side is going to be caught by Judy.
And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. That'll put him at 77 yards receiving for the ball game. It's a first down. This is something you got to be wary of defensively. I mean, just because they're in the mode of trying to burn some clock doesn't mean they won't pass it. And they got good yardage out of that one.
Yeah, and really, when you're looking at it, now they've got a fresh set of downs. Look for second down if they want to take another shot and try and loosen things up. That'd be the time to do it.
63 yards rushing for him now in the ball game.
Well, at this stage, that's exactly what you want offensively. Good run on first down, stay in bounds, keep that clock rolling.
And look at that play chart that the play caller has in his hands right now. That's what you got to focus in on because that's divided up by sections. And right now, he's looking at that 4-minute offense section. What running plays do we have to bleed down the clock and take care of the football? Right now, they're executing really well.
7 yards there and a first down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect them to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
On first down, Harris. There he goes inside the 30 and all the way down to the 25-yard line. Pittsburgh getting 16 yards there and also a first down.
No doubt those are the types of carries they're looking for here, Charles. The lead in the fourth quarter. This is when coaches that have a reliable running game, they breathe a little easier on the sideline.
Yeah, they love the idea that they can take the air out of the football at this point of the game. That means they're really counting on that offensive line, counting on the runners, taking care of the football. Because you're going to tell your quarterback, hey, no time to be a hero. We're not going to throw it here. Just eat up that clock. And if you have the ball, they can't score.
Fourth quarter, down to the final 2 minutes. And we've got a one-score game. So the Steelers with the football as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they look to try and finish this one off. They'll roll him out right.
This will be caught. Judy.
And he's down inside the 5 at the 4 before he's out of bounds. A good pickup there, 21 yards. It's 1st and goal and a late touchdown at this stage. Could officially salt this one away. Throwing here, Newton. Out to his left, and this is caught, and that could seal it. It's a touchdown.
Well, it'd be real easy to say that they are firmly in control right now, but I'm looking at your face, and I'm thinking I've got to be careful with that.
Well, it's a 2-score game. You're inside of 2 minutes. I think you can breathe relatively easily now.
Yeah, you can, but still, you got to stay vigilant. Can't give up anything cheap and easy. That could put you in some jeopardy.
Extra point now by Boswell. And he's been a busy man, 5 for 5 now as he knocks another one through to extend the lead. So this drive spans 7 plays, and it ends with the Steelers finding the end zone.
Chris Boswell to kick off for Pittsburgh.
Boswell now to kick it away after the touchdown.
And no return here from Westbrook. This will be a touchback. So Cousins and the Vikings down by 15. A little under a minute 50 remaining. A crushing loss to their playoff chances on the horizon, barring a huge turnaround here, starting with 1st and 10. On play action, Cousins. He's going to let it fly. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. An excellent pickup of 34 yards.
When they've needed a play this year, he's certainly been the guy to deliver it. As this season has gone on, he's been awfully consistent and sometimes spectacular.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10. Cousins now. Open man once again. It's Thielen. Puts it on the carpet. It's out. And it's picked up by the Steelers.
Well, that drive wasn't a case of wanting to put points on the board. It was needing having to, and they didn't get it done.
Yeah, didn't get it done, and now you look at the situation. And the point differential, 2 scores, pretty much game, set, match.
How about the takeaway, though, huh? How about those defensive guys?
They'll run on 1st down. Harris. And he'll be brought down, losing yardage back at the 40. Now a timeout called for by the defense as they'll talk things over prior to this upcoming 2nd down play. They'll try and run some clock here as they keep it on the ground. Now the Vikings will use the 2nd of their timeouts as they'll talk it over here before what will be an important 3rd down. They fake the give. Newton. He'll buy some time right. There goes a deep ball. End zone. That's incomplete, but there is a flag down, so hang on. A big call coming on 3rd down. So they decline it as that will bring up 4th.
And I know that yardage and field position are keys to any game played, but you've got to consider downs when you're talking about penalty.
Oh, they flip it to the kicker. He looks like he's going to throw it. And the gamble fails. It's incomplete. It would have been a long field goal. The fake doesn't work out. And the Vikings defense is going to get the football back. Well, that was a long attempt to begin with, so the fake you might have known was somewhat of a possibility. Credit to the defense, though. They weren't fooled.
You're right. They weren't fooled. And they were in a position of having to play it both ways. Guard for the fake, but you still want to rush the kicker because it was a makeable kick. So they ended up getting the best out of the whole thing. Stuffed the fake, and they take over the ball.
And taking it across midfield and inside the 45. Successful start to the drive, 17 yards. It moves the sticks. And the pressure too much that time as Cousins goes down. Cameron Hayward in there to drop him for his 11th sack of the year. And he completes it to Westbrook. The Vikings going to use their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with an even 20 seconds left to go. And it looks like we've got a dime set here defensively. 6 DBs in the game. Now Cousins. Oh, going for Jefferson downfield. And this is intercepted. And that should do it. Picked off by Akello Witherspoon. And a good return here as he takes it up past the 30-yard line. With the points that we've seen scored, neither defense has been at their best, but these guys have been a little bit better, Charles, and a nice interception there.
Yeah, you're right about that, Brandon. Let's face it. It's not always how you start, it's how you finish, right? So maybe you have a rough game all the way along. If you make a big play like that at the right time, it can make everything turn out just okay.
So this one in the win column for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And they were buoyed, Charles, by a big second half that put this one on ice.
And I know a lot of people watching this one were thinking to themselves, I bet halftime was really interesting. Probably took the paint off the walls with some of the words that were said. But I get the sense it was much more of the adjustments they made. They came in with a game plan that we saw that didn't work in the first half. They made the adjustments necessary, went away from that, and then they got it together, got a spark, and then took off. It's really nice to watch in the second half.
So for the Steelers, it's an important win for their playoff hopes as they move to 8-5. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week where they take on the Tennessee Titans. Meanwhile, for Minnesota, they can ill afford to drop too many more as they fall to 7-6 on the year. And they'll try and turn things around next week as they have a date at Soldier Field with the Chicago Bears.